Hi Breindy, thank you so much again for uploading your final homework. It's sad, but you're coming to an end of our masterclass. You have done exceptionally well. You have got a lot to be proud of. You have learned a huge amount. Excellent, really, very impressed. There's still, don't get me wrong, there's still ways to go, but you have done exceptionally well. So please give yourself a big pat on the back. Okay, let's see what you've written. Thank you so much again for the course. It's our pleasure. I truly enjoy it. I gained a tremendous amount. Okay, Baruch Hashem, we're happy that you're happy. We'll definitely be recommending it. Thank you. In regards to the homework, I had a bit of a hard time with the AEL and the different settings. I am looking forward to your feedback on it. Also, with the photo shoot, some of the pictures were beautiful but blurry, particularly the running ones. Where's the running ones? This one isn't. But, okay, let's keep going. I used AI Server, but for some reason they were all not pinned sharp. Again, looking forward to your response, and thank you for the course. All the best, Breindy. Okay, you're welcome. So please, keep this in mind. You have to remember this, okay? You are shooting with a Rebel T5i. That is about a $600 camera, something like that, okay? I have a Canon 5D Mark IV, which is worth like $3,000. There is a big reason. There are real reasons why people spend an extra $2,500 on their cameras, and this is one of those reasons, okay? The focusing system makes a big difference. I think after loads and loads and loads of thinking about it, I think I describe it now like this, that the ability to measure on the expensive cameras is much more precise than on the lower level cameras, okay? And one of the big things that you measure in photography is distance, is focus. So you are definitely getting better focusing systems in the better cameras. And the truth is, I was really impressed how well my camera dealt with I have also a Rebel that I bought for the masterclass to be comparable to your equipment, and I was amazed how well it did do. But it's still not even comparable to using a professional camera. So don't lose heart that you're not getting pin sharp pictures for all of these pictures. It takes very sophisticated equipment to get almost pin sharp pictures the whole time when people are running to you and stuff like that. So you could think of it. It looks to me from seeing this picture, which you basically nailed. Yeah. Again, don't forget you're also using a $100 lens. It's like the cheapest lens and the cheapest camera. Not to like insult your equipment, but you are using the most simple equipment. Okay, this will change dramatically when you jump up to either professional cameras and more expensive lenses, or both. Okay, so let's just. What else did you write? Hard time with AEL. It looks like you had an amazing time with AEL. I feel like close to this little kid because I've seen all these pictures of her over the years. Anyway, she's very cute. It looks like you did amazingly. Okay, I don't know about that. Okay, let's jump in. Excellent silhouette. And what is the key to a good silhouette is an interesting shape. Silhouettes, basically, I can't think of much exceptions, should be off profiles with people. Okay, especially when you've got a hustle and kai, they should be looking at each other. When somebody's looking straight at you, the silhouette is nothing. It's just the ball of their head. When somebody turns their face to the side, you end up just like this with an excellent shape. Excellent, interesting line. If we put up the highlights, just makes it a little bit more powerful. That is a great shot. Now, one of the things that I've been looking at for all these pictures is you're leaving too much space at the top. Okay, you're leaving too much space at the top, and the images are out of balance. Top heavy, bottom heavy. So I'm going to mention that here again. Please be aware of that and try and work that out. Do not leave as much space as you're leaving at the top of the images. Okay, this is an excellent example of a silhouette by day. Okay, this is excellent. This is exceptionally well done. Pat on the back for that. Okay, so I'm assuming you used your AEL and you nailed it. Breindy, really excellent. Okay, and this again, you've left too much space at the top. Okay, that needs to be fixed. Okay, you'll fix that for next time. And there's not enough space at the bottom here. That is not good. That is a scrape here. It's not a disaster. It's a scrape. Look, listen. You heard that? And again. Okay, that's a scrape. Okay, so there's no need for that. Just a little bit more room at the bottom will make all the difference. Okay, and crop room from the top, that is unnecessary. Okay, you nailed it. This is great. This is the AL. Let's see if you did it. So you took a little bit of time doing it, but that's like, wait, are you in manual? I hope not. No. Baruch Hashem. Oh, you're in matrix. You should really have been in partial. Should have been in partial. It wouldn't make such a difference, to be honest. But it could have made a difference. You should be in partial metering. Anyway, look, you nailed it. This is great. Look at the difference in the exposures. Let's do it quickly. 3200 goes, pardon me, 1600, 800, 400, 200, 100. Oh, it's 320. So it's like a difference of 3 stops. That's a lot of light. Great, excellent. You can see that the hard light from the sun here is not as good as the soft light from when she's in shadow. Okay, and plus here she isn't cropped off as well. That is distracting, but good, well demonstrated. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Breindy. This is exactly what we wanted to see from you. Again, too much space at the top, even to demonstrate the point. I like this, but if this is your husband, he looks like a nice guy. Hello, mate. This here, exactly. You've proven that we're underexposed here. The truth is, the light here is very messy on his face. I think behind you, what I'm thinking is behind you is like a house which is dark, which means there's no light reflecting off behind you, and there's light coming from behind him, which means his face gets lit up. It leaves this like horrible dark area in the middle. Okay, you can fix that in Lightroom a bit, but you have to be aware of places like this. These are places that you want to avoid. Okay, if the house behind you was like light or with like made of, say, Jerusalem stone, not that you would find Jerusalem stone where you are, if it was made of like light Jerusalem stone, then the light would be bouncing back and it would be taking away all that shadow, so that would have made a difference. But you have proven the point beautifully. This is a comparable exposure. These are the kind of places that we are looking for. Okay, and this is an incomparable exposure. These are the kind of places we are trying to stay away from. Excellent. And now different. 1 second. Wrong. Oh wait, so it's the same place. Okay, so I just talked to you about different. Okay, this is wrong exposure. Okay, and it's the same place. And you are absolutely correct that if you were to use if you were to use your matrix metering system, you will end up with an underexposed image of your husband or whoever that is, because you have a very bright area. You also have a dark area here that saves you a little bit, but you would have a very bright image predominantly, which means the camera will want to take away light to get it to 18% grey, middle grey, which means your husband over here, or whoever that is, would become darker. Okay, excellent. Into the shoot. Okay. Please, if you're going to walk away with anything from this class, from this critique, is stop leaving so much room at the top. Okay? Don't crop off heads. The rules are, remember, we've said, what are the rules in regards to cutting off arms, legs, and heads? Are we allowed? And the answer is yes. You are allowed to cut off arms, legs, heads, hands, feet, whatever it is. But you're not allowed to cut lines, and you're not allowed for lines to hit the edge of the canvas, and you're not allowed for lines to just scrape the edge of the canvas. Okay, so you can cut off stuff, but you have to work out if they're intrinsic in the composition. So now here, that line, that line there is a big, watch, listen to this, doing. Okay, this line here is also doing. So you've lost, this hand here should be on her hand. Okay, that would mean his arm would end up coming around here. You put his hand on her hand. It would also make it more intimate. It would make it very nice. And this arm could be, if she turned her shoulder a little bit more, okay, then his arm could have gone out. It wouldn't be nice for him to drape his arm over her shoulder here. So I do appreciate that, but you'd need to give a little bit more room here. And if she turned in a little bit more, that'd be great. Great smile here, good smile. There's no need for this here. That is not good. Okay, if his arm was in, it would be much, much better. Much, much better. This arm wouldn't even be that important really because we're following the line of the hair. You with me? So in fact, we could crop this a little bit. If we crop this arm even out, yeah, and then imagine that this arm was coming in, that would be a great shot. Okay, careful the messy light in his face. Not a disaster, it's okay. The light in her hair is nice. Stats. Now, on my camera, this would be usser. But on your camera, you are cool. And you got away with it. And it was the right thing to do. Excellent. See? On your crop frame camera, 1.8 at 50mm, which is a 80mm lens on your camera. Remember, you times it, you multiply by 1.6. Gives you a depth of field that you can actually do this. This picture in front of you right now is the depth. Is correct. You've perfectly nailed the depth of field. On my camera, one of these guys would be sharp and the other one would be out of focus. Or if I focused in the middle, it could even be that both of them would be a little bit out of focus. It would be very difficult to do that. As a side point, I've got time, very quickly. We've explained that you should be focusing on a middle point, yeah, because focus is distance. If it's difficult to find a middle point, which it sometimes is, and this is a good example of a time where it's difficult to find a middle point, focus on the back person. Better to focus on the back person than it is on the front person. Focus on the back person's nose, but it's better to focus on the back person than on the front person. I'm not going to get into explaining why that is now, but that's just a rule. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Now they're a little bit too close, and the movement isn't. See, I think the issue, this is a little too close to the edge of the frame. This is a little unnecessary. I like the light on him. That's great. They're a little too. This is a little too close. That's the biggest problem for me, and that stops your eye from moving around more. There isn't really a good shape created here. Do you see? This area here doesn't really move us. So that's one of the things that our eye comes. There's an intensity here. Okay, but the actual shape that we're appreciating. Number one, scratches over here. Listen again. Okay, and number two, it doesn't really get you around. You could argue that this line of his t-shirt, it's too high. It's not really part of this line. So I think that's one of the reasons why it doesn't feel like it works so well. I think he should be turned in a little bit closer. Okay, and I think he should be turned in a little bit closer, and then that would help you move your arm around. The hand in the pocket here, it could also be that if he had his thumb out, that could also help create that line to come around. I think that's the reason why it's not working perfectly. But don't get me wrong, it's still a nice shot. You've got the stats are perfect. Stats are perfect. F2, F1.8, but the stats are perfect. Excellent. Big pat on the back. Okay, here we are not pin sharp. A 400th of a second. Now the real issue here is your focus. You're at 1.8, which again on my camera would be a big problem, and on your camera here you also got nailed a little bit. You focused on his face, which means she is out of focus. It is not unacceptable, but she is a little bit soft. Again, look, we don't have these lines. These lines have to be created. So we've got entry point is here or here, whoever you want to look at first. The truth is actually, oh, I hate doing this. 1 second. Oh, thank God. Okay, that the point is, this hair does make a difference. This hair does create a line for you around. But the problem is there's a little bit of movement outside. You understand? So if she, instead of holding her hands, 1 second, instead of her holding her hands like this, do you see me? If she was to wrap her arms around, that would probably make all the difference here. Okay? So look, technically, The 1.8 here you got stung by because she's a little bit soft. I think you edited in Lightroom. I think you brought her eyes out. If you did, it's very good because I don't know for sure. That's how you know you did well in Lightroom. If I don't know for sure, actually that's not so true. A bit true, as one of my sons would say. Anyway, it's a bit true. Go Yochanan. Here. Oh, this is Yochanan. This is Yonah and Eliezer and Chaim. That's me. Okay. That's just a little... Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, this is the issue here. This line over here. Bring them in closer. And yeah, you lost also with the depth of field. Next, this is great. It's great in that you nailed it, like movement wise. This is great. The problem here is, what's the problem? Is this massive white bit. This is called not comparable exposure. This is breaking one of the cardinal rules, okay? So that is the problem here. That's why this energy seems to like lose so much. If you had gotten down, Mamash gotten down low, then this would have minimized this whole area and they would have been backed by these trees. And the light is great. You did it in a great place. That would add a lot to this picture, okay? Now, again, this line isn't working, man. It's beautiful. It's just a shame because that's just a smash. That's a huge crash over here. Okay, we can't have that. This arm needs to be coming around. Okay, either get more in if they're holding hands, which looks like they are, but that line compositionally needs to be moving around, and then it would be excellent. The light on them is great. I maybe would remove a little bit of the green, a little bit of the yellowy tint here. I love the framing. This is excellent. Chosen a great place, good light. Could be he's a little bit under. Yeah, you can see. You need to be a little more careful because there's a part of the branch, the part of the tree is coming over him. But yeah, it's slight little things that are going to make a big difference. Take it in. You can send to Rivka a couple more pictures once I know you've finished the course, but send to send to Rivka a couple more pictures from a shoot that you do next week, and I'll go through them because these are they're small points, they're fine details, but they're really going to make a big difference. Okay, what can we do in Lightroom? Anything jump out and mind? That's cool. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. I like the shot. This is one of my favourite shots you've taken. Let's have a look. Take this into Lightroom. 1 second. Okay, develop. Now, I want to go like crazy intense here, okay? That's all I'm thinking about, crazy intense, big saturation, okay? Now, I want to darken him. Excuse me. That's too much. So let's go up with the clarity. Now he's distracting. I like this golden thing. I wanna crop in a little bit more. Okay, now I need him to come out more here, so we can do that quite easily by doing auto mask, putting on the exposure drop. And what we're doing is we're overexposing this area here around him, which means we can now put up the exposure and he comes more. Do you see that? We really popped him out over here. And does it look weird? No, it looks like there's an area of light in the background. Okay, I think I'm going to do also some more clarity on. Again, I'm assuming it's your husband. He'll like this shot of himself. All guys like this kind of thing. 1 second. Now I think it might work to drop the shadows down a bit more. What about even opening them? Yeah, you know what? I'm going for that. Is there anything else left to do? 1 second. Can we do the vignette a little bit? Maybe a super slight one. We'll use the radial tool. Super slight. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. You know, one more thing as well, just for the fun of it, is let's use our clarity tool on the clouds. I like clarity on the clouds. It's cool. See what I'm saying? Oh, wait. Cool. Wow. That's a cool shot. Went from here to here. Wow. Go Lightroom. I love it when Lightroom does stuff like that. Okay. Excellent. So like I said, Breindy, send a couple of pictures to Rivka. Tell her that I said it was fine. She'll email them on to me. Yeah. Big pat on the back. You've done exceptionally well. And I give you, you know, bracha bezrat Hashem. You should be zeicha to be matzliach, to earn some money doing this, and to enjoy this amazing outlet that you now have. And yeah, go for it. Okay, nice one. All the best.